You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 388, which I anticipate going out sometime in December.
Merry Christmas.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jayne Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. So this week is a little bit different. There is no Jayne. She's a very busy bunny because she recently had her birthday on the 9th. And it coincided with a very opportune moment and opportunity for me to speak with my very good friend Anthony Markham, who can talk us all through his amazing end of November trip over to Walt Disney World. So hello and welcome back to the Disney Dream Girls, Anthony.
Good morning, Michelle. So good to talk to you as always.
I love having my Disney chats with you, buddy. I really do. Before we go on, just as a matter of caution, I may be barking mad, but if you hear any barking, it's because Anthony has his amazing puppy and puppy friend in the background today. So it's not me who's finally flipped the lid, okay? Just thought I'd make you aware.
The holidays do it to us all, don't they?
Yes. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about Anthony's trip, but before we do, I've got some amazing on this day in Disney history for you.
What do you have for us, Michelle?
On this day, 12th of December 1927, Oswald, the Lucky Rabbit short, Empty Socks was released. Now, it's a silent black and white cartoon featuring Oswald as Santa, and it was the first ever Disney Christmas-themed short. Now, what makes this such an amazing thing to celebrate and enjoy? Well, the actual film for this was lost for decades. Nobody knew where it was, until our good friends over in Norway found these 2 reels of film. They had a look, they worked with the Disney company, and they redigitised it, and they realised it was an absolute treasure. It was this absolute fantastic Disney short. Now, about 30 seconds of the original 5-minute, 30-second long film has been now recovered and is stored at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. If you want to go over and watch it, because it took me a while to find it, pop on over to DisneyDreamGirls.com and you'll find a little YouTube player embedded on our podcast page so that you can enjoy it. And it's a real cutie little Christmas story. Also on this day, 1949, Bill Nighy was born in Surrey, England. Now, this isn't Bill Nighy the science guy. Oh no, it's Bill Nighy, the Davy Jones from the Pirates of the Caribbean guy. Some of us may know him better from Love Actually. Oh, he's so funny. Mm-hmm. Moving now to the 13th of December, and this one's especially for our good friend Anthony. Dick Van Dyke was born in Missouri, 13th of December 1925. And what's he well known for, Anthony?
Of course, he's Bert from Mary Poppins.
Absolutely, and I know we have our special Disney Bound coming up next year of Bert and Mary.
Yes, we do.
So excited! So that's basically on this day in Disney history from me. So we're going to crack on through with a little bit of a sort of chat through your trip, really, Anthony.
Sounds good.
So when did you go?
I left on the evening of November 30th and arrived on December 1st. I stayed for 5 days. I stayed at Animal Kingdom Lodge, Jumbo House specifically, and then I went for one night to Old Key West.
Was there a reason why you wanted to do a split stay? Because for some people, for one night, they think, oh, I can't be doing with the hassle of that packing and moving.
To be honest, that was what was available. I had a friend that was kind enough to let me use her DVC points. So in order to have the full 5 days that I was going to take off of work, I had to do a split stay. And you are correct. It is a bit of a, I don't want to say it's a hassle, but...
So if I go back in time to 2013, I stayed at Old Key West and I think I was there for a week. And I had a very nice time in an upgraded 2-bedroom suite, which was absolutely divine. How did you find your stay?
So I was in a one-bedroom studio. The rooms were huge,
Mm.
and I was on the ground floor. So I didn't have to lug the stuff up the stairs, which was nice after a tired day at the park. I was close to the main building, so I didn't have far to walk to dining or the exercise facility, which was actually nicer than the one at Jumbo House, in my opinion.
Mm.
The main plus there at Old Key West is the size of the rooms, to be fair, don't you think?
Completely agree. If you're going with a larger than usual family group, you can really sprawl out because ours had so many facilities. It had a washing machine, it had a dryer, it had a great big sort of bubbly steam jet bath and another bathroom and a shower and a big lounge. To be honest, we didn't really get to use the facilities that we had. But it's a place I'd go to again. My only complaint was the decor. It's a little bit dated.
It it is dated. Now they have switched some of the bedding. I was there in February of February of 2020, right before everything went sideways. I believe the bedding's new. They have that style of bed that's raised where you can keep your luggage underneath the bed. I did like that update, but that's the only big thing I remember being different.
And Animal Kingdom Lodge, well, do we need to sell it? It sells itself, mate.
I mean, honestly, and I did have a Savannah room, so I mean, it's perfect. I just wish I would have had someone to share. The only bad thing about that resort, and you know too, if it just depends on when you're placed, you could have a 3/4 mile walk to your room. At the end of the day, that might not be what you want to do.
Yeah. And it is quite a distance from the theme parks apart from Animal Kingdom.
Yes, you are correct. And the busing, I had an issue 2 different mornings trying to get to a park because, you know, with being a resort guest, you want to make sure you take it full advantage of that extra 30 minutes. And I wound up using my own vehicle 2 mornings to get to a park just because the bus situation was a little poor out at Animal Kingdom Lodge.
Now, I've got a very dear friend who went to Animal Kingdom Lodge for 2 weeks. She visited the theme parks 5 days, and then the rest of the time she used Animal Kingdom Lodge as a actual hotel and used the facilities and just chillaxed because theme parks isn't really her thing, but lounging by a pool and having a cocktail is more of her thing. And for me, when you're paying that price point, that's the kind of thing I'd want to do there. Have a couple of days unwinding and just sort of going.
Yes, yeah. And it's got so many terrific restaurants too.
Oh gosh, yes, absolutely agree.
I took advantage of mobile order at Sanaa 2 different days and had a midday break and a nice snack while I watched the animals from my veranda.
Can you get any better than that? Actually watching the giraffes chomping on the acacia leaves.
Yes. Oh, it was perfect. And the weather down there that time of year, you know, it tops out in the 70s. Yeah, you know, as you sit over there. Wasn't that right when you had your big snowstorm, ice storm?
Yeah, we were at 28 degrees, mate. Thanks.
Sorry, love.
Yeah. Moving away from the weather, and let's now think a little bit away from the hotels to what you actually did while you were in the theme parks. And I want to start with the cookie stroll because to me, it's one of the cute things that you can go and do at Christmas. So talk me through the cookie choice and what you managed to devour.
So, since I was going to be at Epcot over a couple of days, that helped to where I wasn't eating 6 cookies in one day. Because that's a lot. I did complete it. I had also done it last year. So each cookie is $2.50. So you're not breaking your bank by Disney standards. Are all of them terrific? No, they're not.
Oh dear.
The highlights are the snickerdoodle with the actual piece of Snickers on top of it for me.
How did I guess the peanut butter loving fan loved the snickerdoodle?
Well, you know me. And the other one that was really nice was the chocolate crinkle with the Dove chocolate on top.
Ooh.
Those were the 2 that I would say are worth the calories. Now, the other ones, I ate half of the black and white cookie. I'm trying to think of the other ones that they had. The gingerbread was hard as leather.
Oh no, you want gingerbread to be soft, not something you can throw at a window and smash it.
I agree. I agree. The 50th anniversary cookie that you got, as your prize was pretty good. It was beautiful.
And that's the one that you got for free when you had eaten all the other 5.
Yes. They also gave you this little plastic cup that has International Festival of the Holidays in it with a peppermint mocha little milkshake. That I don't remember that being in the promised gifts, but it was nice to have a little extra.
Always fun to get something that you're not expecting, because that's what you like with Disney. They go over and above, and it is nice when you get something that you think, ooh, they didn't tell me about this. This is a nice treat.
Yes, indeed.
Would you think then the cookie stroll is a fun thing for someone to do on the day and maybe share out the cookies if they're with a partner or someone?
I was going to say, if you've only got one day, do it with a friend. If you've got some time, it's a fun single activity as well.
Okay. Well, while we're in Epcot, another big reason and a big draw for many people is to go to the candlelight processional. And I do gather you went and enjoyed. So how did you go about it? Did you book a restaurant and get the dining package, or did you join the queue?
I tried to book a dining package, but those reservations were gone in a heartbeat. Since I was there a couple different days, I had my choice of narrator who I would go see. Mm-hmm. When I arrived, Cheetah Rivera was on her final night, but I wanted to save my first candlelight experience for the legend herself, Miss Jodie Benson.
Oh.
Yes. And I had heard that the later shows, there may be a better chance of being able to get in at the last minute. But then a cast member warned me that since it was Jodie Benson, her expected crowds were going to be much higher. And indeed, they were right.
Oh dear.
I first started seeing people lining up at 1 o'clock.
Wow. And what time was it due to start?
5:15 was the first show.
Ouch.
Yes. And so as I would make my way, around World Showcase, I would kind of check back in on the line. So the standby line goes from American Gardens down towards Italy that way. And by 3 o'clock, the line was already to the Italy pavilion. So I decided I should hop in. So I waited from about 3:15 to 5:15. They started letting us in about 10 till 5.
Wow.
They funneled people with the dining reservations into that the front covered section, and those of us in standby were more in the back uncovered section. But just so happens I was right in the middle section, so I had a wonderful view. I don't know that I should ever try for Candlelight Processional again. I mean, to see a true living legend up there, and just her energy and her inflections, the same little things you would. It truly was like having Ariel herself tell the story to us.
One day, mate, I will get there. It does sound amazing. If you could have got a dining package, do you feel it would have been worth the extra paying for to avoid that queue?
It would have, yes. I wish that there were more restaurants maybe that had that booking opportunity. But the flip side of that is, with my annual pass, I don't have that time crunch. I could, quote unquote, waste 2 hours. I will say that I did miss my Remy boarding group as I was waiting in line. Well, here again, we talked about this on our last talk together. It's okay. That Ratatouille is kind of I don't want to say it's underwhelming, but it's not a must do. So I did miss my reservation time.
Sorry about that, lovely. But as you say, it's not a big heartbreak because you got to see Jodie Benson.
I got to see Jodie Benson, and I'll be back at Epcot soon. So
perfect. Let's move on then, and let's talk a little bit more about some of the Christmas delights that you can see in the theme parks.
Well, why don't we start at Epcot, since that's where we just were.
Perfect.
And honestly, I think for me, Epcot has the best variety of holiday entertainment that you don't have to pay an extra $200 for.
Well, true. Why pay for a party ticket when you can go to Epcot and have a party and a cocktail of your own?
That's right. So over the course of the 2 days, I saw Candlelight Processional, as we mentioned. I saw Father Christmas, the storyteller. I saw the Jewish storyteller. I saw La Befana. I saw Pierre. Is it Pierre Noel in
Oh, yeah.
France? Father Noel. I saw Joyful, that praise and worship band that performs there at the entrance to World Showcase Plaza.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a big focus of most of my Epcot days, was checking off the holiday entertainment. Even some characters were out in holiday costumes. Joy had her holiday scarf on. Had you heard about the Mickey Mouse meet and greet that's in Epcot that's not listed anywhere on the Times Guide?
What?
Yes, right as you're exiting the Pixar short film, if you enter that space, immediately to the right, there's Mickey Mouse in his conductor outfit. There's a PhotoPass photographer, so you're not just taking a selfie, which is, you don't find that right now in the parks. So I would tell the listeners, if you're heading to Epcot, you can have your picture made with Mickey, and it's not a selfie.
Wow.
Now you're still distance, of course, but that's nice to have that back. Back to the holiday stuff. Of course, I rode Living with the Land with its holiday decorations.
Oh, so cute.
Yes, I love that they added a little holiday love to that ride, and they've changed the narration too, so it relates to more how these different vegetables and products are used throughout the parks for the holidays, and how they may be used in baking, or they may use these products for making Christmas sweaters, or it's just a nice touch. I did not see our friend Figment in his holiday sweater, but I hear he's wearing it again this year.
Aww.
Yeah, Epcot is my favorite for the holiday aspect.
Any other parks that you think really outdid themselves this year?
I've always enjoyed the Hollywood Studios decorations, that retro style. But since it's the 50th, everything in that park now seems to have at least some element of gold on it in the decorations. Like Gertie has a new hat and a new ornament hanging from her, I'm not sure, mouth. There's more gold in all the decorations down Sunset Boulevard. Same thing for Magic Kingdom. It's the traditional locations for your decorations down Main Street, but you have lots of gold bows this year. Oh, Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom's a little underrated.
Mm-hmm.
True, it's not as ornately decorated, but they're at the main entrance in front of Tree of Life. I love all the white and gold and natural elements in the decorations there in that plaza. Plus, my favorite, the Merry Menagerie. You really do need to see these guys. The puppets that are there. Those performers are so talented. They had a new one this year, an Arctic Fox. I hadn't seen that one in years past when I had been.
Fab. And I gather while you were there, you saw Kite Tails as well.
I did see Kite Tails. I saw both shows because there are two that they alternate. They have one that's themed to the Jungle Book, and the other one is Lion King. I caught the Jungle Book show first. And so much of what I had seen online just showed the kites themselves out on the water. I didn't realize that there were some performers moving around within the crowd with smaller kites or flags. So that made it more of a full experience, and I liked it.
There's some great video you've shared over on your Instagram as well. And that's A-Train 74?
Yes, it is. Of the two, though, I like the Jungle Book better. But I felt like I had the whole experience with Kite Tails because I saw a great show, but then I saw a horrific water crash.
Oh, let's be honest. Do people just want to go and see the crashes? Let's be honest. It's the macabre sense of humour most people have.
Exactly. And they're even at a point they have pre-recorded announcements about the flags and when they do crash, and they play the wacky Benny Hill style music whenever.
It's nice to see they've got a sense of humour about it. Let's be honest.
I think it's a nice wait. Now, if you're in that direct sun, that could be a hot time in the summertime.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a nice 15 minutes out of your day. And there's not a wait for it, per se. You don't have to queue up an hour ahead like I had to for Jodie Benson. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend it. It's a good time.
Well, let's move on now to talking a little bit about where you managed to have some of your dining. I've got a psychic power going here, Anthony. I think you ate at Steakhouse 71.
Did eat at Steakhouse 71. Yes, my Magic Kingdom morning. I, of course, used my early entry, knocked out like 5 or 6 attractions, and then I had a late brunch over at Steakhouse 71. That was the first time I'd ever been to that restaurant. I understand it used to be a buffet. Is that correct?
Yeah, when it was the Wave, and a lot
Okay.
of people raved about the waffles you could get there or the pancakes and things like that. But now, obviously, it's a order off the menu, and there's some absolutely amazing things on there.
Yes.
I would have gone for the Floridian Eggs Benedict because that's your 2 poached eggs, your crab cake, and hollandaise on top of the English muffins and breakfast potatoes, purely because it's something I have never had. Because normally an Eggs Benedict for me is either smoked salmon or English ham, and that is a really nice alternative I've not seen anywhere else. And at $17, I don't think the price point is too shabby.
No. What would you have to drink? Because let me tell you, those cocktails, those were nice.
Well, because you're going a little bit later in the day, I wouldn't feel too bad having a cocktail. Maybe if I was there at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'd feel a little bit bad. I know we're sort of saying about a drink. I'd probably go with the bourbon cold brew, which just sounds so good with vanilla bean cream, and it's just, $13 of a kick up the backside for me.
How did you know that's exactly how I started my day there? Yes, that was very, very refreshing. It was, it was potent, but it was subtle. And I'm a cold brew fan anyway, so it makes me want to add bourbon to all my cold brew at home.
But not driving afterwards.
No, exactly. So after I had that, I then got the veggie omelet had spinach, mushrooms, tomato, and Swiss, some wonderful large cut potatoes, and it had a homemade biscuit. Now it's not like my southern grandmother's, but they did okay. And then I finished with, this is not on the menu, but it was recommended to me by my server, a fig martini.
Ooh.
A fig liqueur, vodka, and I want to say rosemary. That was a nice finish for the breakfast experience. Their seasonal pancake, that was the other thing I was considering. They were still having pumpkin spice. I was hoping more for like a gingerbread pancake, because that would have been amazing too, I think.
And I know already, we've talked about this, the day we get off our cruise, I don't fly home till incredibly late. So I'm trying to persuade you to take us back from the port up to the Contemporary and have a late brunch at Steakhouse 71 before you have your drive home, and I can just chill at Disney before I have to have my drive to the airport.
Oh, so sad. But no, we're not going to think about endings yet. Nope. We still have a beautiful cruise to work through. But I also had brunch at another place.
Ooh.
I had brunch at Trattoria Al Forno. I'm sure I just butchered that on my first day there. Have you heard anything about that experience?
I haven't, and to be honest, I've never eaten there as well, so I'm quite interested. I do know there's something there that our Jayne would absolutely kill for.
Let's see.
See if you can guess.
Okay. Miss Keto, would she go for the oak grilled steak and eggs?
I think she'd probably sort of throw keto out of the window, jump up and down on it for some tiramisu-style French toast, because I know she loves tiramisu. And it's a cinnamon brioche, mascarpone cream, cocoa powder, and it's with bacon, ham or sausage. I think that'd tempt her to throw keto away for the day.
That was one of the 2 I was narrowing my choice down between. But I did think of you when I saw that, actually. I wound up going with the Florentine frittata, egg whites, baby spinach, goat cheese, fresh herbs, and then it had a fruit salad mixture. That was delicious, and it wasn't too heavy because I had walked from Hollywood Studios and I was walking back there, so I didn't want to feel too heavy as I went throughout the rest of the day. So that was a nice choice. The wait staff, actually, of the 2 places I ate brunch, I think the Trattoria Al Forno staff was a little bit more welcoming and a little bit more attentive. So those are some pluses about that area. And something about that, you can, let's say you start your day at Epcot. If that's a short walk over there, or you start your day at Hollywood Studios like I did, a very short walk. I think that may be an underrated gym for me.
Oh, so that's maybe another place I can consider maybe going and eating at, because I've never tried there, and they do have some really nice options, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Spend a morning walking along the boardwalk before you have to get on that sad bus.
Sad bus. So, moving on now. And then the last thing I really want to say is, Anthony, what the chocolate fudge muffins were you thinking about going to Blizzard Beach in December?
As you know, I'm an annual pass holder. Earlier this year, we had gotten an email where we could use a discount on water park tickets, except I couldn't use it in the summertime. There was a blackout date. And this was going to be the one trip when I would have the free time. I wanted to try something different that I hadn't done before. So, yes, I did go to Blizzard Beach. The water temps were okay. The only time I really felt cold is after you would get out and you're wet. I believe I paid $52. That's including taxes with my discount. So I thought that was pretty decent value for an afternoon. No crowds, as one could expect. So I was able to do literally all the slides and attractions within 2.5 hours.
Wow.
I could see, you've got a family with kids. That would be a nice thing to do on a slower day, particularly like in the heat of the summer, just to take a break from the pavement of the theme parks. But yeah, I would recommend it. Blizzard Beach is the only water park open at this time. Typhoon Lagoon, maybe that will reopen in the spring after its traditional refurb. But I had been to Typhoon Lagoon when I was younger. Of the two, I believe I like Blizzard Beach a little bit better for that lovely summit plummet. You've done that, haven't you, Michelle?
I've done that, and I must admit I really enjoyed their wave pool over at Blizzard Beach. It was really good.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't as violent as I can recall from other water parks that I've been to.
Yeah, nice and subtle. Subtle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my lovely, as an annual pass holder, when's your next trip?
You know me. Actually, I am going January 7th. Yes, I am going to support some friends of mine that are doing the marathon.
That's going to be a busy weekend then.
Yes. Well, supporting. I'm not getting up at 3 a.m. like those people have to do, but I'll meet you at the finish line and then we'll go ride some rides.
Sounds a good plan. Well, lovely, it's always fun talking to you about your Disney escapades. Thank you very much for getting up at a very early time on this busy Sunday to record with me and share all of the wonders of Disney in the Christmas season. I know we've got a lot of listeners going over to Walt Disney World in the next few weeks to enjoy the Christmas season, and I know there's some people there right now enjoying it. Hi, Deborah. So have a wonderful time, guys. If you want to find out more about the Disney Dream Girls, why not go and visit, as I said at the beginning of the show, DisneyDreamGirls.com for our website, where we have that extra special clip of Empty Socks. Please watch it. So good. So good. You can find us on Instagram and Twitter at DisDreamGirls. We also have our Disney Dream Girls podcast family, where we share our love of Disney. And at the moment, all of our participants who have joined in the Christmas gift exchange are sharing what they've got. And I must give a big thank you to the wonderful Alyssa Gundell, who sent me the most amazing Expedition Roasters coffee. Oh my word. Oh, so good. I've had the Tiki Room one, Anthony, and it's cocoa-licious. It's got coconut in it.
That sounds delightful. Maybe add that shot of bourbon that we were talking about.
Well, I'm going out in the car soon, so I best hang fire on that one. Anyway, lovelies, thank you ever so much for listening to this week's show. Apologies, it's been a bit chaotic with our release schedule, but December has been a bit of a horrific month. I had no power, and then I was away doing other things, and it's crazy time at work, and adding COVID and everything like that. Just been far too busy. Sometimes life gets in the way of one of my many hobbies. So apologies, we've not been around as much as we'd like to, but we'll try and get ourselves on an even track over the Christmas period. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me.